Playing Dreadmyst really got me thinking how little the MMORPG community actually wants. For the last decade, it feels like the big developers have been obsessing over the wrong list of features. They seem to convince that the game to succeed, it needs revolutionary graphics, cinematic storytelling, and endless complex systems to keep us engaged. They're trying to build a technological marvel. But the reality, we don't need Marvel. We just need a game that works. Now, this is not going to be a review of Dreadmyst. I'm just using it as a case study. Because when you see players flocking to a janky, low-budget indie project that looks like it's from the 90s, it forces you to ask the hard question. Why are billions of dollars being spent on things we apparently don't care about? It turns out we're not looking for the next-gen experience. We're just looking for a solid loop. Let's talk about what I call the checklist of irrelevance. There are things that developers burn budget on, thinking in what sells the game. First up is originality. Dreadmyst gets called an asset flip because, well, let's be honest, visually relies on a bunch of pre-made assets. It's a mix of models and textures you can grab off the store, and you've probably seen some of them in a dozen other projects. In 2018, we would have called this a lazy and laughed it off Steam, but today, nobody cares. Because when you're 10 hours deep into a grind, your brain filters out the art style anyway. Then there's the cinematic storytelling. Studios hire Hollywood writers and voice actors with thousands of hours of dialogue. But be honest, how many of you actually listen to it? We skip the cutscenes, the spacebar to the dialogue. In an MMO, we create our own stories by interacting with that weird guy named XXSlayerXX in the chat. We don't need a movie, we need a world. And finally, innovation. Every new MMO tries to reinvent the wheel with some complex action combat system or parkour movement. We don't need that. Tap targeting is fine, action combat is fine. We just need the buttons to actually work. So if we strip away all that bloat, high-res textures, the cutscenes, the marketing budget, what is actually left? What is the core experience you're actually starving for? I think it really comes down to the holy trinity of needs. The first is the button feel. This is the micro loop. Ignore the graphics for a second. Close your eyes. When you press the fireball key, does the damage happen instantly? With the numbers pop up in a way that tickles my brain. Dreadmyst gets this right. It's snappy. Compare that to something like Throne of Liberty at launch or a dozen other next-gen MMOs. They look gorgeous, like 4K paintings, but the combat feels floaty. It feels like you're fighting underwater. If the combat isn't snappy, the game dies. But if it feels good, we will play it even if it looks like a PlayStation 2 game. The second thing we want is the roadblock. And this is the big one where AAA studios keep messing up. They think we want convenience. They give us dungeon finders, fast travel to every location, and solo leveling because they want to respect our time. But here's the irony. We actually want problems. We want friction. In Dreadmyst, you often have to group up just to do a normal quest because the mobs will kick your teeth in. That difficulty is a roadblock. Because that roadblock exists, I have to turn to the person standing next to me and say, hey, you want to group up for this? That is the bare minimum requirement for an MMO, the forced socialization. We want the game to be just inconvenient enough that we need each other. When you remove the friction, remove the community. Third piece of the trinity is the identity or class fantasy. Modern games design is obsessed with the balance. They want to make sure that the warrior does exactly the same DPS as the mage, so nobody gets excluded from the raids or parties. The result is just grey mush. Everyone feels the same. We actually want the opposite. We want the jagged edges. I want to be a necromancer that summons 50 skeletons and lacks the server, even if it's a little broken. I want to feel different from a guy standing next to me. We want distinct flavors, not a perfectly balanced game. So why is there this huge gap between what developers make and what we play? It comes down to the developer's ego versus players' reality. Developers want to show off. They want to flex their new lighting engine, their physics tech, their writing team. They're building a $10 million playground with electronic features, safety rails, and guided tours. But the players, we're basically just kids. We don't want the guided tour. We just want a stick and a pile of dirt. Dreadmyst is the stick and the dirt. It's honest, it's a digital playground where we can just hang out, kill stuff, and see numbers go up. It doesn't try to be high art, it just tries to be a game. So what's the takeaway here? Is Dreadmyst the future of MMOs? Maybe not. It's definitely somewhat a wake-up call, at least for myself. It proves that the bar is on the floor, and that's okay. It proves that gameplay matters more than graphics. It proves that community matters more than the content. We don't need a WoW killer with a $200 million budget. We just need a game that respects the core loop. Kill monster, get loot, high-five a stranger. If you're a developer watching this, stop polishing the silverware, just cook as a good burger. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments, what's the one inconvenient thing you miss from the old MMOs? I would love to hear that. If you enjoy videos like this, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.